This was my character's cooking skill tree before making this video. And this is what it looks like now. As you might have noticed, it's more fleshed out and it has more color. In this video, I'll be showing you the entire process of building a cooking skill tree just like this. From scratch, using guides made by other players and using those skills along with some items to create delicious food items to fill that hunger bar. Now these food items are not just for filling your character's hunger bar. No. They also provide you and your party's members They also provide you and your party members some sweet ass buffs, and they can even increase your character's overall stats
permanently.
What's up gamers, it's your boy Phen, back at it again with yet another outside gameplay video. And if you're new here, my name's Phen, obviously, and in this channel we explore every aspect of the game. So far I've only covered 3 items, 3 stats, and 2 weird as experimental videos. In this video we're gonna explore the cooking aspect, and when it comes to food in this game, there's only one rule. The rule is simple: don't starve. If your character starves in this game, they will die, and it's game over for them, and for you too. Yes, you, the player, might die as well. We're gonna be making the most basic of all dishes as our first dish. And our first dish, damn, that's so hard to say, man. And our first dish is gonna be the sunny side up egg. I'm gonna make my character watch a tutorial made by a player called on how to make this food item. This makes my character discover the recipe, the skills that we're gonna be using to create this piece of protein. Now that my character discovered the recipe and skills to be learned, hang on, let me just emphasize that the skills were just discovered and not actually learned yet. We'll get to learning the actual skills later on. And for now, let's just appreciate this naked ass skill tree. Alright, so the recipe calls for an egg and butter. That's pretty easy to obtain actually. And I actually have another player in my party right now who will help me grab the ingredients, and her name is Lai. You've probably seen her in my previous videos, but today she'll be helping me gather the ingredients. You can get eggs as a loot from chickens, or you can buy it from most merchants all around the map. And because I don't own a freaking chicken, we're gonna be buying some eggs in the store, and we're gonna get the butter real quick too. Right now we're back at the kitchen, and I'm gonna show you the gear we're gonna be using for this recipe. For this recipe, we're only gonna be needing a frying pan as our offhand and nothing in our main hand. Oh, we're also gonna be using the stove as our cooking station and an ice box for storing ingredients. Yes, food in this game have a spoiling mechanic, man. It's kinda annoying to be honest, but at least it makes the game much more realistic than Minecraft. And that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, you don't even need a fucking spatula, man. That spatula, yeah. Alright, with all that bullshit out of the way, let's finally get to cooking, goddammit. First things first, we're gonna let the butter melt in our frying pan of death. And while that butter is melting, we're gonna check in on my naked ass skill tree right here. So the discovered skills are pan mastery, which is a passive skill, frying, plating, and egg cracking. Egg cracking, by the way, is a specific skill for egg dishes, obviously. You might be wondering though, how to learn skill in game? I think your character learns a skill once you successfully done it at least once. At least that's how I understand it. And boom, just like that, we learned 2 skills that we will use for the entire playthrough. I just realized I might have gone too far with how much butter I added, so I'm gonna actually need a spatula for this one. And after this, we'll just play the waiting game. I mean, the cooking time for this recipe is pretty quick. As you can see, it's barely been 30 seconds and that thing is almost donezo. Once that shit's done cooking, there's only 2 things left to do: to season and to plate. I accidentally seasoned it too much with salt. That's just because my character's perception stat, it's so low, man. It's just like the lowest shit on earth. The perception stat when it comes to cooking is actually just how you perceive the doneness. I don't know how to speak cooking language, man, but it's just how you can perceive the fucking cooking shit. It's plating time, boys. Only one item is needed for this skill: the mighty plateau, which is actually not French for plate. I know I said you don't need a spatula, but I think we're way past that at this point. Now this item right here was supposed to have the non-stick modifier on it. That's why I didn't bother with a spatula. Either way, it's time to dig in. So the basic sunny side up egg with butter restores a pretty low amount of hunger and provides no buffs at all, except that it actually cancels the hungry debuff. But I think that's only fair considering it only takes like 2 ingredients and less than 1 minute cooking time to make it. That was the saltiest egg I had in my entire life. Alright, that's the most basic egg dish screwed up. Let's move on to a more complex recipe, and that is scrambled eggs on toast. My character is gonna watch another quick tutorial again to learn the recipe and discover skills required, which apparently are level 1 beating, alright, stirring, chopping, season, and level 2 plating. Oh, and my character already knows egg cracking, so that's cool, I guess. What's the difference between level 1 and level 2 plating? Well, they're practically the same, except for level 1, I just dump the thing blindly on the plate. For level 2 though, we're gonna carefully and with surgical precision dump it on another ingredient, which will be the toast, which I forgot to toast, by the way. Alright, the recipe calls for butter, eggs, chives, goat cheese, and sourdough. So I already got some eggs, right? And butter in the icebox, but I don't have the other items though. We got all our ingredients right here. I totally milked that goat, yeah. And as for gear, we're gonna be using the almighty rubber spatula as our main hand and the noble saucepan as our offhand equipment. We're also gonna be using a chopping board later on to obviously chop some stuff on. Oh, and a knife.
Bruh.
Going back, I'm just gonna make my character chop the chives right here. And look who we have here. A wild posse. This little critter right here is a surprise called a pet. And there's an ungodly amount of pets you can tame it outside. Like, ungodly. I might actually make a video about pets at some point. If you don't want to miss it though, you should totally hit that red button down there. Subscribe? Is that what it's called? Subscribe? Doesn't matter what it's actually called. It's free. You can always unsubscribe at any point. Back to chopping my fingers. Oh, and I also have a dog here, which I occasionally wave at. Now I'm just gonna let that butter melt in the saucepan just like the previous dish, except this time it'll actually be the right amount. And while that shit's melting, I'm gonna beat the shit out of some eggs. And we're gonna pour that golden shit in the saucepan, swimming with that golden fat, and stir that shit a lot. As long as you don't destroy the pan, it's all good, my dude. Now this will actually take a shitload of time because it's cooking at a low heat, but it's all gonna be worth it in the end if you get it right. Now when it's about 50% done, we're gonna add the chives and the goat cheese, and then we're gonna season that with salt and pepper. You'll know it's 50% complete when the eggs start to set a bit. Now it's about time I kick this little fucker out of the party. This big fluffy ball of fur is banned from food. Once it's done, we're gonna execute Operation Plantation. I actually overcooked the eggs a bit. Again, because my character's got a low perception stat. Scrambled eggs on toast that isn't toasted is quite the upgrade from the basic sunny side up egg. It restores much higher amount of hunger, gives no buffs though, again, unfortunately. But the last dish we're gonna make will actually give a buff to our character this time. It will not have eggs in it, I promise. And I'm not gonna watch another freaking tutorial to learn it. Instead, I'm gonna hop on the couch and watch the best movie of all time. Alright, we just discovered the recipe for pasta aglio e olio. I'm sorry if I butchered Burchard? I'm sorry if I butchered the hell out of its name. It kinda looks easy, but just to make sure we're up to standard, I've watched Chef at least 1,000,000 times, and that's just what I did for the last 5 months since I started this channel. And with that, let's just fill a pot of water. While that shit's starting to boil, we're just gonna crush some garlic. This maneuver is called the I fucking hate peeling garlic maneuver. And it's really effective if you hate peeling garlic. Just look at how easy that skin got off. The garlic crusher, in my opinion, is a very powerful item in the game. You literally just need to load it with garlic and then pull the trigger. While I's chopping the parsley, I'm gonna heat up some oil in the pan. Once that shit is heated at the Goldilocks zone, we're gonna be adding the garlic as well as the chili flakes, and we're gonna let that cook for a while. Damn, I sound like one of those, those cookie show people. Now once the garlic turns golden brown, we're gonna add the pasta, and then we're gonna dump the parsley in there. Well, I helped me by finally chopping the parsley, which is very good in my opinion. Now look at that green moss. The tossing skill was probably the most satisfying part of making this dish. Anyway, the dish is done cooking. Finally, we get to plate it. For this, we will need a carving fork item and get that pasta in there. This might actually be the hardest part of making this dish because you'll be needing a level 3 plating skill. And boom! We just upgraded our level 1 plating skill to a level 3 in one video. This pasta, I don't know why, but the first time I saw it, now I just wanted to suck that pasta straight into my large intestine. Not even gonna bother with the stomach and the esophagus. I just want it straight into my anus. One nice thing is that it gives the fiery kick buff, which increases strength, perception, and agility by a shit ton, but decreases endurance, charisma, and intelligence by the same as well, which makes this dish kind of balanced or pointless. Oh, and it also gives your character a short-lived damage over time debuff if you choose to poop. However, these stat boosts are only temporary and will go away once the buff has expired. The dish doesn't have any meat in it, so that's kind of a bummer if you want to permanently increase your strength stat. As you can see, mine is as shit as it can be. Speaking of stats, if you guys want to see a video where I talk about some of the stats in this game, then you should go ahead and watch this video right here. I only covered strength, perception, and endurance, but if it's gear you want to see, then check out this video right here. I talked about 3 overpowered items: the backpack, money, and the car mount. Alright, see you in the next one, gamers. Bye bye.